Alright guys, just gonna knock this video out real quick this morning. It is Wednesday morning, about 9:30 here at my place, my home in Oakhurst, California. It's very, very smoky. We got the creek fire going on right now, and I'm not participating with my company. Instead, I'm at home and just taking care of my own properties here. I've got several here that are in harm's way, and so I've been using my men to help me get things ready here. We've got a water truck right around the corner here, several fire trash pumps set up, siphoning out of the stream and out of my little fish pond, so that if fire should come this way, I'm able to save the house. And my other shop, two shops are right up the street here. I can run over there with the water truck if need be. We've got a dozer on one and an excavator on the other. Got an excavator here as well. But that's besides the point. Really, the reason I wanted to make this film real quick is in regards to our investing in stocks that I think a lot of guys like myself are interested in, specifically the stock Hyliion. And I just thought I should get this out here because Hyliion will be going public at the end of this month. It's September 8th or 9th today. Today's Wednesday the 9th. And by the end of the month, they'll be public. They're currently under the ticker SHLL. Now, it's been, I've seen on different YouTube videos that people are a little bit skeptical of that stock because they feel that Hyliion's drivetrain package could void warranties on new trucks. And that may or may not be true, but I think what the point they're missing is that most guys that buy brand new trucks are probably going to run that truck on the drivetrain it comes from the factory with until it's out of warranty. So I don't think that the Hyliion drivetrain package warranty issue is really an issue at all. Speaking for myself, here in California, and other truckers here in California know that, you know, we've all been subjected to these new CARB rules, California Air Resources Board rules, which has effectively made all trucks older than 2010, I believe, or 2011, illegal to drive. Or at the very best, you can get an exemption for 1,000 miles per year, which is nothing. It just basically makes our older trucks worthless in this state. So as a result, a lot of guys have either bought newer trucks or brand new trucks at great expense, and any truck that is compliant, which is 2011 newer, has gone up in value as a result, because there's a huge demand for those trucks in this state. And I guess soon to follow will be other states as well. I think New York is either going to follow suit or has already. I'm not real sure. And some other states as well are getting ready to follow these California rules that really have become huge burdens to guys like myself, mom and pop trucking outfits that just can't afford to buy 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 new or newer trucks. There for a while, you were able to upgrade your truck with a particulate filter, but the cost of that was about $25,000. Or you could retrofit your older truck with a newer engine. Unfortunately, the newer engines they don't fit. They're too long for the most part, and the cost is just too much. That doesn't make sense financially to take a $10,000 or $20,000 truck and put a $25,000 particulate filter or engine drivetrain, retrofit into a truck. But with the Hyliion idea, I believe it is cost effective, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's about a $15,000 package. Now, I've got an '89 Peterbilt transfer truck. It's a dump truck and trailer where the box on the trailer will slide into the box on the truck, and basically effectively allows you to double your payload. Love the truck. It's got a Cat 3406, 425 horse, very torquey engine, easy to drive. It's got 13-speed Road Ranger transmission, and it's an old truck, but it's a good old truck, and it's a real workhorse, and which is another stock, by the way, I really like, workhorse, but that's another topic. But anyway, I hate to get rid of that truck. I've had it for sale for quite some time now, and just really not getting much interest other than a few guys out of Idaho. I believe they run transfer trucks up there, but transfers are not very common. There's something that's kind of a California thing, and I think there's a few other states that run them, but not many. So as a result, there's not a huge market for used transfer trucks out of this state. So I would be very interested in putting a Hyliion package into that truck once this company gets up and running, and you know, find out exactly what the cost is. But if it's under $20,000, I think it's a feasible upgrade to make to that truck that would then get me compliant with California, and actually give me, in the long run, lower cost of operation by far, as well as more power, more torque, and the range for me is not really an issue, because I'm up here in the mountain area, and I typically don't drive more than 100 miles in a day, so I don't need, you know, 1,000-mile range or 500-mile range. I just need a couple 100-mile range at the most. So I think the Hyliion package would be more than adequate, and it's my understanding that their package even provides as much or more range than the typical diesel trucks have. So I just thought I should bring this up, because not only does it allow guys like myself to revamp the old trucks, but it also allows us to then bring them into compliance to where, you know, we can use them for as many years down the road as we need to. Now the old solutions where the particulate filter, which is what a lot of guys did, was very expensive, and it only gained a couple more years of use before that too was no longer compliant. So I just never did that to any of my trucks. I didn't feel it was cost effective. As a result, I've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 trucks in my yard right now that are out of compliance, and I just can't use them. And a few that I've sold. And in fact, I just sold one truck to a guy, had a Detroit Series 60. Loved the truck. It was a tractor with a small sleeper. We'd use that to go out on firefighting missions, and it was nice because the guys could sleep in the sleeper if we're out in the woods. And but anyway, it was a very easy truck to drive as well. I ended up selling that for $6,000 to a guy from Kansas who flew out here and drove it home. And as far as I know, he's just tickled with the truck. And before the CARB rules came into effect and made that truck unusable in state, it was probably worth, you know, 3 times that, so, or at least twice that. So it's really been exacerbating for guys like myself to have to basically give away their equipment that they've got a lot of, you know, years with, not only to pay them off, but to maintain them and to improve them and to make the trucks exactly the way they want them, only to have to give them up through no fault of their own. And it just seems to me very unfair that a guy would buy a truck new from the factory, being completely compliant at that time, and then for the government to come along and say that they're no longer compliant just seems very unconstitutional to me, and wrong. It's just not fair to folks, small businesses, that are really what keep economies like this one here in our little town going. Not to mention, you know, the larger cities. Every town everywhere needs trucking of some sort or another. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I do think that Hyliion is really onto something here. Not in just regards to newer trucks, but older trucks as well. And I think that's something that's been overlooked. I think they also have an option where you can or will be able to buy a brand new truck and choose their drivetrain from the factory. I'm not sure if that's true yet, or if they've made those arrangements with Peterbilt and Kenworth and Freightliner and Volvo and all those manufacturers, but I think that is something that I've heard will be an option in the future as well. And I think when guys like myself really sit down and look at the numbers and see the difference between these new carb compliant diesel engines or tier 4 engines and the maintenance that's required, the DEF fluid, the maintenance on the filters and so forth for the exhaust, versus a package like Hyliion that's basically a fuel cell and battery setup, and the amount of maintenance that will require, it's going to be a no-brainer. And I frankly am tired of busting my knuckles on internal combustion engines, that I've got a lot of them. So I look forward to a day when everything is electric, or hydrogen or natural gas over electric. I don't think hydrogen's really going to be as feasible in the short term as natural gas, just because the infrastructure is going to take a little while to get going. But I do think it will be definitely a thing of our future, and not too distant future. Probably within the next 10 years, I think we're going to see that most big rigs are going to be electric or fuel cell type trucks, and that the old diesel trucks are going to be more and more rare on the highways, and eventually probably be phased out altogether. People just don't want to breathe those fumes anymore, and I think certainly diesels have come a long way. I can remember as a kid the old Detroit's Jimmy, screaming Jimmys, just belching out smoke from under the school buses and big trucks and everything, and you couldn't even stand to be behind them unless you were 100 yards behind them, because there's so much black smoke just getting belched out of the exhaust system. And the diesels nowadays, they burn clean, they smell clean. It's certainly a huge difference. But I think that the new technology of the batteries and hydrogen or natural gas fuel cells will dominate, and it won't take long because of the maintenance issues and the financial benefits of having that. So I look forward to it, and I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys that might be considering investing in Hyliion or Nikola or some of these other companies that are in the hydrogen and natural gas fuel cell business. I think ultimately down the road it will be a thing that's good, and a thing that will become popular. So it's a long-term, in my opinion, long-term investment. But if you have any other thoughts on it, please give me a comment and let me know. I'm happy to talk about it in further depth, but I'm not a technical investor. I'm more of an intuitive investor, and my personal portfolio is up quite considerably, so I'm certainly not perfect in my choices, but it's worked out well for me, and we can talk about that more in future videos. I wanted to keep this fairly short. So thanks guys, give me your comments below, and I look forward to hearing from you.